Hello, and welcome one and all to the very final Solomon Miller Bulletin. I'm your host, Solomon Miller. For tonight's very final report, I would like to introduce all of you, my humble viewers, to the course that made it all possible, broadcasting. Run by David Kolodny, this course has 3 different classes: Broadcasting 1, Broadcasting 3, and Broadcasting 4. We'll get to Broadcasting 2 in a second. Broadcasting is a way to release your creative self by using video production and editing to create an independent film or project. There are many questions to delve into with this class. What is the purpose for it? Why are so many students drawn to it? What benefits does it provide? And the only question I will ask you in response is, are you interested? The first class for this course is Broadcasting 1. Here, a student edits together pre-existing news reports to make a project. When in Broadcasting 1, I asked 2 students these 3 simple questions. So thank you for joining me for this interview, Megan. You are a Broadcasting 1 student, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you join Broadcasting 1? What about it interested you most?
Well, I really am interested in all like the camera stuff. Like I do photography and like I have a sister who like did a lot of like media things, and I think it's really like interesting, and I thought I could be pretty good at it, so I decided to give it a try.
Okay. What exactly do you do in this class? What kind of projects do you have?
So at the beginning of the year, we started like doing like basic things and talking about like different types of equipment and all that, and like taking notes on those things and quizzes. And then towards the like end, like where we are now, we've been doing different projects, whether it's like editorials or like newscasts and stuff like that, where we like make scripts and then we like come in here all in like a couple days and just film them. And yeah.
Would you recommend this class to anybody else perchance?
Oh yeah, I think if it like, I don't know, like media is something you're interested in, it's definitely a good class to take.
My name is Ezra Gardner. I'm a junior. I'm in Broadcasting 1. All my friends told me that broadcasting was a fun class to take, and when I had nothing else on my schedule to do, I decided to pick up broadcasting because it seemed like something I'd be interested in. We always have projects based around like certain situations going on with real life scenarios, and all news related, doing projects, recording ourselves in class, talking about specific things we want to, whatever the project is. It's a whole different variety of stuff we do in here.
Do you like this class perchance? Would you recommend it to anybody else?
Oh, I'd recommend anyone taking broadcasting, because whether you like television or not, you're still going to do stuff that you like to do in here, because you can do anything. They give you such a variety in terms of what you can do your projects and your work on.
Does broadcasting inspire you to really work on outside projects, like outside of school, just for fun?
Yeah, because like I said, you can do your projects on whatever you want to, so it's kind of inspiring when you can actually choose, instead of doing a set project on something you don't really look forward to. You could do something that you do look forward to, and that you'll be excited to do it outside of school.
The second class is Broadcasting 3. Here, students make their own reports and stories with a chance to make a little creative extra on the side. In this class, I asked 3 members the 3 simple questions. Okay, why did you join Broadcasting 3 in the first place?
Well, I joined broadcasting because I've always been a pretty good writer. I think I'm pretty creative when it comes to writing, so I figured I could put my writings out on camera, and that'd be really good. And also, my mom is a producer at the Discovery Network, and so I already have that, it's in the family.
Cool. So what do you do here in Broadcasting 3 exactly?
Well, in Broadcasting 3, we do news reports, and then we do fictional pieces. But then another thing I do is also the morning announcements director, so I make sure everyone's in place and ready to go for the morning announcements, and yeah.
do you like this class? Do you think you'd recommend it to anybody?
Oh, absolutely. This is my favorite class by far out of any class I've taken really in my entire life. It's so much fun. And I'd really recommend it to anyone who is creative, who's good at writing, and whoever just would want to do broadcasting. I think they should definitely try it.
Do you have any other things to add on?
No, I don't think so. I would just say join broadcasting.
Well, I originally joined Broadcasting 2. I skipped Broadcasting 1, mainly because I really want to do film in college and actually make movies and stuff. And I talked to Kolodny about skipping Broadcasting 1 because I'm not really interested in any of that stuff. And then through Broadcasting 2, I just really loved making movies and stuff. So I decided to move on to Broadcasting 3 and do it a little more. As a class, the actual assignments are varied. Normally, so every couple of weeks we have a news reporting we have to do. We get to choose a topic and then just do a little report on it. But then we also have creative pieces where he gives us he being Kolodny, gives us a small parameter, like you can only use one shot. You have to do a day in the life, who knows. But personally, my projects tend to be weird and abnormal and definitely unairable because slightly inappropriate. I love this class. If you are interested in film or movie making or editing or all of the above, this is definitely a class that you should take because it teaches you skills and it's also fun to have my homework be making a movie. I would recommend this to everybody and anyone that likes holding a camera. Put in a little effort, not too much effort, but just enough effort. And then just be weird, These movies are just going to be shown to Kolodny, and if you make them inappropriate, they will never get showed to anybody else. So be weird and not school appropriate. That's my words of wisdom.
One friend of mine who I interviewed, Neel Patel, gave us a bit more details on what broadcasting was like.
I was inspired by what they showed. I thought I could do skits around the school, stuff like that. I never expected to make these full-on movies that are exceeding my limitations, and I just love it so much because of that now. So in Broadcasting 1, we focused all on nonfiction stories. So we would tell about what's happening in daily life, in the past and stuff, just to get a hang of the broadcasting industry. And Broadcasting 2, which is my sophomore year, all we did was fiction stories, which is really fun because fiction, you get to make whatever you want. Funny comedy, all that stuff. And Broadcasting 3, which I'm in right now, has a mix between the two. So I get to make nonfiction and fiction. So I'm just learning a lot about the broadcasting industry just in case one of my majors when I grow up, directing and acting. So it's just very fun.
Okay. Do you recommend this to anybody else? Do you find it fun?
I think broadcasting is very underrated. They need to better advertise this class to future students because back when they advertised it to my school, back in Jefferson, it wasn't that good, so not that many people joined. And in Broadcasting 1, many people leave after Broadcasting 1 due to, how it's sometimes boring to other people. But if they just understand the right incentives, then they'll love the class as much as I do.
Taking another class after Broadcasting 1 was the worst mistake I've ever made.
It's completely fine, as long as you're in a class with me now.
Do you have any words of inspiration you'd like to say to the viewers here?
Yes. Broadcasting is a great place to develop your skills and just become a better person and way better at cooperating with your peers. I think that is the biggest part of broadcasting, teamwork.
In Broadcasting 4, I asked the only members, again, 3 simple questions, not to be repetitive. So why did you join this class, may I ask?
One thing that I've always been interested in, especially as a kid, I really liked film, and I've always wanted to make stuff myself, and broadcasting class was a great opportunity to do that.
What do you do in Broadcasting 4?
In Broadcasting 4, we use all of our knowledge from the past 3 years to make some pretty big projects and films and stuff like that. It's a really good recap of everything you've done throughout high school.
Do you like this class, perchance?
Yeah, I really enjoy broadcasting. It's probably one of my favorite classes I have done in high school. It's really nice and fun, and Mr. Kolodny is such a great teacher and really nice to work with.
The artsy reason, I guess, is I like broadcasting. I mean, I've taken it the past 3 years, and this would make my 4th year. Real reason is I needed to fill a spot, and the best way to fill that spot was with a class I really liked. So it's kind of a mixture of the two. Well, it was set up that we'd kind of be interns for the county. Like, if a teacher needed someone to make something, we'd do it. Like, Mr. Jarnigan had us make a world history, like, introduction video, and now we're working with the Oak Ridge Chamber of Commerce, like, going around to businesses and, you know, filming and interviewing them. But most of the time, when we don't have work, we're just doing advanced versions of projects we've already done. Like, we've done short films, we've done a silent film, currently we're working on a fake newscast. So yeah, it's mainly just doing advanced broadcasting work, and when we can get a job, working with the community.
That sounds really, really cool.
It's advanced broadcasting. I'd highly recommend this class, but it's a tough class. This isn't the kind of class where you can come in, sit around, use it as a study hall, and then at the last minute churn something out. If you're taking this class, you need to love broadcasting. This needs to be something you want to do. This is what broadcasting 4 is, because like, it's professional. Like, if you've got a job, you're not working with Mr. Kolodny. You're like going out talking with the person. So it's like, it's somewhat professional. Like, you carry on emails with your clients. You've got to build connections with them. So it's not something that you can just push off. It needs to be something that you are set, you want to do, and it's less broadcasting 4. I mean, that's the nickname it's given, but it's not really broadcasting 4. It's if I can remember it's the applied arts practicum. It's the next big thing, but it really shouldn't be viewed as another broadcasting class.
Do you have anything else to add about broadcasting 4?
It's a fun class. I enjoyed getting to take broadcasting another, I guess, semester, and I'll miss not having it next semester. So I guess it's a fun class if you aren't done with broadcasting after broadcasting 3.
To get some more insight into this course, I asked Mr. David Kolodny, the teacher who runs it, these questions. Thank you for joining me for this interview, Mr. Kolodny. I just want to say broadcasting has been very influential to me, and it's an honor to have this interview with you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be interviewed.
So the first question I just wanted to ask you about is, what is the main purpose of broadcasting? Why does it exist here?
Well, it exists here. It's a state class, right? So it's a state-sanctioned class. There are broadcasting classes across Tennessee. So it gives students an opportunity to be creative. It gives students an opportunity to take those interests that we know they have, right? Kids are always making TikToks. They're always making Snap videos. It gives a chance to tell a story. It's all about communication. And so I think it's just something different from all the other classes that exist in the school, and it's really, I think, a fun thing to have.
That's a very interesting opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, what career options does broadcasting provide?
Sure. I mean, the easy ones, right? You can be an editor, you can be a filmmaker, you can be a videographer. But if that's not really what you're interested in, I think there's still a lot of places you can go with it, because ultimately it comes down to a course about communication. So you can go into marketing, you can go into advertising, you can go into public speaking. All of those skills that you build throughout your years of broadcasting here, I think can transfer to pretty much anything that you have to do. I don't know any job really where you work in a bubble and it's just you working alone doing something. So the ability to take information and synthesize it and present it somewhere else, to have a conversation with other people, to be able to communicate with the people on your team or others, that's every job. So beyond just the broadcasting focused section, I think these skills transfer to anything you want to do.
What is the average experience of broadcasting? How will everybody really interact with each other, and what types of work will they be provided?
So it depends on what class they're in. Broadcasting 1 is all about nonfiction communication. So you take information that exists in the world already and pull it together into a project of your own. Some you're going to work with a partner or partners. Some you're going to work on your own. It just depends on what that project and what that assignment has to be. It's where you learn all about communicating as on like a baseline and how to be able to do it effectively in a given amount of time. Broadcasting 2 flips the script a little bit to fiction communication. So you're shooting video, you're editing that video, you're taking content that didn't exist and creating it for the first time. You're telling a story that never happened, but you're telling it to people, right? So it's all about fiction. And then Broadcasting 3 puts those classes together where the nonfiction side of it, you're taking real events and going out as a reporter and covering them. And for the fiction side of things, you're creating new content that didn't exist before in the world. And Broadcasting 4 is kind of an overarching class, and it really varies depending on what kind of needs come up production-wise for the district, for the town, and then other assignments that I give out. No matter what the classes are going to be, you're going to have to work with other people. You're going to have to be okay being on camera, both in front of it and behind it. And so it's really just a varied experience as you progress through the 3 or 4 levels if you stick with it to the end. So right now I'm teaching 2 Broadcasting 1 classes, a Broadcasting 3 and a Broadcasting 4. Next semester I'll have 2 Broadcasting 1 classes and a Broadcasting 2. And so that's just the nature of, we have as teachers 3 teaching periods out of the 4 teaching periods of the day. And so I only have so much time for the classes, and there's no place to obviously do 4 classes in 3 periods.
Do you think that this class in any way is fun?
I do. As a teacher, I think it's a lot of fun because I get to see what students create. I get to see their creativity. I get to see what they're interested in. I get to learn about things that I probably wouldn't know about otherwise. For me, it's fun as a teacher. As a student, I hope that it's fun. I try to design things so that they're interesting, that they're fun, that there's a lot of creativity and choice involved in it. So you as the student don't necessarily have to do the project that is assigned. So I know other classes perhaps would say, this is your prompt, and everyone writes to the same prompt, or everyone draws to the same prompt, or whatever it's going to be. My prompts are very broad, and so you can fit a lot of categories and a lot of things in under that umbrella prompt. And so you as the student and the filmmaker have a lot of leeway in terms of what you're going to be creating, whether it's for Broadcasting 1 nonfiction or Broadcasting 3 fiction. So I hope it's fun. If not, I don't know why you keep coming back. Maybe you're just into boring things.
I agree with that. I think broadcasting allows you to express your creativity a lot, and so yeah, I agree with that. And one last thing I wanted to ask you to wrap this up is, what words of inspiration would you like to say to current viewers who may be interested in joining the broadcasting class?
Well, I think that if you have any interest at all in filmmaking, if you have any interest at all in communication, give it a shot. There is a wide range of classes here. Take a bunch of electives, and I think broadcasting should be on the list. It gives you an outlet that you wouldn't ordinarily get. It gives you an opportunity in the day to do something that's totally different than any other class you're going to find. And who knows, you may just end up liking it. My high school had a broadcasting program. I took the classes. I ended up doing broadcasting in college. My first job in the industry was in broadcasting, and now here I am teaching it. So you really never know how it's going to end up.
Thank you all for joining me for this final Solomon Miller Bulletin. My overall experience here in broadcasting was wonderful, and I will continue to pursue a future in filmmaking. I thank everybody. I thank my friends, my family. I thank you, Mr. Kolodny, and I thank you, my humble viewers, for joining me on this journey and encouraging my career. And if there are any viewers out there who want to join broadcasting themselves, remember this one fact: have fun. Goodbye, and again, thank you for joining me for this final Solomon Miller Bulletin. I'm Solomon Miller. Good night and sleep tight, Tennessee.